My name's Don Peterson. I'm one of the NetBackup product managers, and today we're going to talk about backing up NAS devices. A lot of our customers use NAS storage in their environment, and there's some things you need to know about backing up NAS storage. What ways to do it, what the options are, and what's better and what's potentially worse. There are both low-end and high-end NAS storage devices. The low-end ones run Windows operating system. Oftentimes it's called Windows Storage Server. It's like Microsoft Windows, so we support it as a NetBackup client and as a NetBackup media server. And with those devices, you can just put a NetBackup client on that box or a NetBackup media server on that box. So to back it up, you're just going to either send the data from the client to the media server and then down to disk or tape, or if you put a media server on there, it just goes from the media server down to disk or tape. Very easy, very convenient, just a standard NetBackup procedure. If you're using the high-end NAS devices, there's various ways to back those up. One way to do that is using NFS or CIFS. With that, then the client would be basically mounting this device. And this, again, is a NAS device. It's running NDMP. The data would go from the NAS device to the client, to the media server, and that's when you're using NFS or CIFS. Now, most customers don't want to use NFS or CIFS because it's really pretty slow. When you start looking at file sizes that are under, say, 100K, or maybe even a megabyte, it's noticeably slower than using the NDMP protocol. So with most high-end NAS devices, because they're running a unique file system, they support NDMP. And with NDMP, you can, if the NAS device supports it, write directly from the NDMP device to tape. And because VTLs emulate tape, that can also be a VTL. So you don't have to send the data across your LAN, don't have to send it through a client or media server, just directly to tape. Managed by NetBackup, but it's very efficient. There's also what is called remote NDMP if you want to write to disk. Because the NDMP protocol does not support writing directly to disk, you would send the data from the NDMP device across the LAN to the media server, and then from the media server down to disk. So you can use that if you want to use that. And that works with all of the different NetBackup types of disk storage units. It does work with Pure Disk, by the way, but Pure Disk does not do a good job of deduplicating NDMP data today. So if you want to try to deduplicate that data, you would need to use an open storage device, or a VTL can also, some of the VTLs can also deduplicate NDMP backups. Another way to be able to back up the device, if it's a NetApp device, is across the LAN using what is called SnapVault. So NetApp developed two NDMP extensions. One is called the Snapshot extension. Another is called the SnapVault extension. NetBackup can manage both of those. And in managing the Snapshot extension, we basically kick off a snapshot that goes on this box here. That snapshot's a logical backup. So if I lose this box because it goes down, I'm losing the backup as well. So that's okay. It's very fast because to restore, I'm only changing a set of blocks. And so it can be done very, very quickly. But if I want a safe backup, then I use SnapVault and back it up across the LAN to the other NetApp box. The first time you back that up, everything on here is moved. After that, it's only changed blocks. So it's very efficient once you make that initial backup. Whereas with NetBackup, all backups are done with changed files. One downside of using this is a lot of times customers want to make copies of backup images. Since this is not a NetBackup backup image, it's not a tar image, I can do another backup of this and say backup this to a tape drive, but now I've got backup 1 here, I've got backup 2 here on tape, and NetBackup doesn't correlate those together. So the NetApp admin is going to have to remember that, oh, this image on here really came from this particular NDMP device here, because it was a backup and a backup, not a backup and a duplication. Now, we support about 20 different NDMP devices. Those are listed on the HCL, shows the software releases of those products that we're compatible with. The way we license NDMP is anytime NDMP is used for backing up, you purchase a license for the particular device. So if this is a NetApp FAS 980, you'd go to the NDMP tiering appendix, which is listed on, which is on SCORE, look up the FAS 980, and it says it's a Tier 4 NDMP license, and a customer would buy an NDMP, a Tier 4 NDMP license. That's the way that is done. Same if you're using NDMP to back up to disk. So in summary, there's really 3 different ways to back up NAS devices. One is NFS or CIFS, where the data, but that's going to be slow. A second methodology is using NDMP, and that's where you can go to tape or VTL directly, otherwise it goes to the media server. And then the third, if you're using NetApp, and NetApp's a pretty big percentage of the NAS devices out there, probably about 60%, you can implement the snapshot or snap vault extension, which is managed by NetBackup, to kick those off, which is also very efficient. Just with the issue of doing duplications, it's a little bit messier. So thank you. Hope this helped increase your knowledge about how to back up NAS devices with NetBackup.